Hey, it's Doug with Backcountry Pilgrim, a channel all about hiking, camping, backpacking, and the gear that goes with it. What I'd like to talk to you about today is options for remaining secure and feeling safe while you're on trail. One of the easiest ways to feel safe and secure on trail is to simply go with somebody else. Now, I am a huge fan of solo hiking and backpacking, but if I'm going somewhere where I'm not going to feel super confident about how things are going, or I'm maybe concerned about a particular security or safety risk, one of the easiest things to do is just bring a buddy along. The odds of something happening to both of you at exactly the same time are a lot less than just one of you, and so having somebody else there with their own equipment and their own know-how and their ability to hopefully escape the situation and bring help can bring a lot of peace of mind. However, if you are going solo, as I often do, there are some things you can do to increase your level of confidence as far as your safety and security goes while you are out in the backcountry. First, let's talk about what I'm going to call active personal protection. And what that means is something on your person that you carry that will keep you safe in a dangerous situation. I am basically talking about some kind of weapon or something that could be used as a weapon in case you get into a situation where you are being attacked either by an animal or by a human being. Now, I'm going to talk about some pluses and minuses to 4 different things that could be used as a weapon: a flashlight, some kind of protection spray, a knife, and a firearm. The nice thing about both a flashlight and a knife is that they are part of your 10 essentials of hiking. So if you can use either one of those as a personal protection device, that's one less thing you have to remember or have to carry. Now, most of the flashlights I hike with would not do a whole lot of good as a weapon as far as inflicting some kind of damage on somebody, although if I was really concerned, I might switch from one of my little hiking flashlights or headlamps to a tactical flashlight, something that could actually be used as a striking weapon in addition to producing light. However, even if the flashlight you carry is only something that is going to produce light in a situation like that, however, even if your flashlight's only purpose is to provide light, in the nighttime, a very bright flashlight, especially one that has a strobe feature, can be very effective against someone who is trying to come after you, something that is trying to come after you, because it can temporarily blind them while you make your getaway or launch an attack of your own. When it comes to a knife, again, most of the knives I carry would not be terribly good as weapons because they're very small and very lightweight. I've got a little tiny glow-in-the-dark Swiss Army knife that does 99% of what I need it to do. However, most of the time when I'm hiking, you'll notice I've got my Izula-II hanging off the front of my shoulder strap, and that is for a couple of reasons. Number one, I do want something quick that I can use as a weapon if I need to, and it also just kind of lets other people know that I am not just a victim, I am going to be ready. So if on the very, very low chance somebody is looking for a victim on the trail, they'll probably pass by the guy with the knife. Now, when it comes to defensive sprays, obviously you've got mace, pepper spray, you've got bear spray. These are going to be very effective against somebody who's maybe trying to come into your tent, or, of course, an animal. The difficulty with some of these sprays is that the bear spray, at least, is not always easy to get. It is also questionably effective if you are in wind because it could blow back on you. And also there are some places in America that don't allow bear spray, and so you could actually get yourself in trouble if you're walking around with it and a ranger sees it. And really, if you're not keeping the spray where you can get to it quickly, it's probably not going to do you any good. So that is a consideration you need to have. Maybe you just use it at night in your tent and you stow it away during the day when you're not really all that worried. But those are some considerations you want to think about when you're looking at spray defense. Another item that is illegal to carry in a lot of places in America is a firearm, especially some kind of handgun that can be concealed. I'm not talking about slinging a big giant hunting rifle over you. That is generally not going to be the best for self-defense. But if you do decide to carry a firearm, a couple of the things you need to consider. Number one, legality. Are you legally allowed to carry a firearm where you're going to be? Number two, as with any gear, you want to consider the weight, but also you want to think about where is that firearm going to be stowed, because if you have a traditional backpack on, it's going to be covering up a lot of the areas where you would probably normally carry concealed, and that's going to make it very difficult for you to get at your weapon if you need it. So make sure you know what you're doing, make sure you have thought it out, and make sure you have practiced if you decide to carry a firearm on the trail. Now, besides active personal protection, there's also what I think of as kind of passive protection. In other words, something that is going to help me if I am in a situation, but isn't something that I'm going to use against anybody or anything to keep myself safe. I'm going to suggest two devices that I have been using for quite some time now, and both of them tie into this: the simple cell phone. Now, many of the places that I go hiking and backpacking do not have signal where I can use my cell phone, and so I'm really kind of disconnected from the rest of the world, and on some of the hikes I've been on, that has not been a very good idea. So there are two pieces of technology that I have added to my kit. One of them stays at home, which I'll explain in a moment, and the other one comes with me on pretty much every hike I go on, especially if I'm going solo. The first is the Izula-II satellite communicator. This little thing is great. There are other companies that make them, but basically what it is a satellite communication device that allows you to sync up with your phone and send text messages or even SOS alerts through the device itself. Even without a phone, the Izula-II is able to send SOS emergency signals over a satellite. It does not rely at all on Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or anything else. And when that button gets pressed, emergency services are alerted, and they're also given your location so that you can signal for a rescue. The other thing the Izula-II device will do without a phone is simply do a check-in. You push the check-in button and it sends a simple message saying that you are safe to anyone you have designated, and it also gives your coordinates so that in case a search party ever has to come try to find you, they'll at least know where you were last. Now, one of the things I love about the Izula-II is that even though it connects to the Iridium satellite network, which is pretty much the best out there, it will also automatically transfer over to your phone that it connects via Bluetooth in case you don't need the satellite. And what that means is if I'm going to text my wife and say, "Hey, honey, campground's closed, I'm going to hike another 3 miles to the next place," I can send that, and then if the Izula-II senses that my phone is actually connected, it will send using that signal. If the phone is on Wi-Fi, it will send the message using that, but if neither of those are available and the phone is basically dead as far as communication goes, then the Izula-II will activate the satellite service and send that message anyway. One of the unique things that I really love about the Izula-II communicator is that you get your own phone number with the device. And what that means is none of your friends or family are going to be able to accidentally text you and use up your minutes and your texting while you're on trail, because you're going to be doing all of that messaging through the Izula-II device on that private number. It comes with a great little carabiner clip to go onto your shoulder harness, and it is completely waterproof, so even if you fall in a river, the Izula-II is going to keep working. So my Izula-II device establishes a connection with home, whether or not I am within Wi-Fi or cellular range. That also helps with the other device that I've been using recently, and that is the Reolink Argus III Pro home security camera system. I don't know about you, but I am a little more paranoid than usual lately about the rash of gas and catalytic conversion stealing that's been going on across the nation, and I like the ability to keep an eye on things outside my house without actually being there. Now, Reolink sent me 2 of the Argus III Pro cameras, and I have really enjoyed using them. There are a number of features to look at when it comes to home security cameras. These checked all the boxes for me and at a reasonable price. How these cameras help me on trail is that as long as I have got signal to my phone, I can actually check my security while I'm on trail. If the camera senses some kind of motion, especially from a person, it will alert me, alert my wife, alert anybody else that I have on the system, and that gives me peace of mind to know that even though I'm not there, there's still something looking out and guarding the premises. Now, if I do have signal from where I am, not only can I see what the camera sees, but I can also listen and speak through the camera and tell some people to, get out of there if they shouldn't be there, which would probably make them think I was home even though I wasn't. So that is something else that's very helpful, especially if the whole family is going to be away and not just me. Some other things that were important to me about the camera was, number one, I didn't want to have to run wires through my house. So number one, I wanted solar power so that I wouldn't have to recharge the battery through a cable. And number two, I wanted it to operate on Wi-Fi so that it was broadcasting that signal to my house through the Wi-Fi system to the cloud, where this particular camera gives you 7 days of recording into the cloud for free, and also makes it so that if someone comes up and steals the camera, they can't just pop an SD card out and run away with it. These cameras also have a spotlight as well as night vision, so if I see somebody in the night, I can trigger the spotlight remotely and it's going to light them up and give me a nice crystal clear 2K color video while that light is on. The cameras were super easy to set up. In fact, it was just about as easy as setting up an email account. Once you download the app to your phone, it produces a QR code that the camera reads and the two devices link up. You can do that with other phones in the house as well. So for example, my spouse and I both have our smartphones dialed into our cameras. We have two cameras, we have two different views we can get. And so while I'm out on the trail, I can know that my spouse can see the same things that I can. However, let's just say we want some redundancy. If I see that something has been triggered and 911 should be called, I may not be able to make the call from my phone, but I can use my Izula-II to send a text to someone and ask them to call 911 for me. So even though that's a couple of extra steps, it is far better to have a little bit more intricate process for alerting the authorities than having no way to do it at all. All right, so overall, guys, have a good time, have some awesome adventures, but stay safe out there. And if you're not confident of your safety and security, I hope some of these things will help you attain that. Until next time, I'm Doug. This is Backcountry Pilgrim. Thanks for watching.